say about them. One is that these calculations were completed in December 2012. We were preparing for the 2013 session, and at that point there was a question on the table whether to expand Medicaid in January 2014. The General Assembly session ended in a decision that created this body, but there was not a decision to expand Medicaid in January 2014, and so really that date is no longer operationally feasible, and we will need to update these estimates between now and the next session. And going back to the previous slide for a moment, what that means in practical terms is if you look in the second column in the rows that relate to optional ACA provisions, the $10 million in costs in state fiscal 2010 through 14, the $62 million in savings and the other numbers, and that portion of the table, that is really no longer on the table. Those were realistic estimates in December, but that in effect that ship has sailed. Those savings and those costs will not be incurred now. And so really this entire table will have to be adjusted a little bit in order to provide information if there were a desire to consider a Medicaid expansion in either July of 2014 or January of 2015 or any later date. With that caveat, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, Secretary Hazel.
Scott, can we go back to that slide just for a second? While you're on the biennial budget 15-16, is it fair just to say in that period of time, if you lost a quarter of the time, if the effect is sort of linear or proportional across the 2 years, or can you say that?
Is that?
So essentially, then, any savings if you started in July would be 3/4, any expenses would be 3/4. If you wait till next year, you can have that essentially.
Well, there is a ramp up.
I realize that.
Yeah. I think in general terms, yes. This is the first of 4 slides that attempt to break out those 4 light blue lines that you saw in the table that we just looked at. The first of the light blue lines was about mandatory costs associated with the ACA. The costs that will be incurred regardless of any decision come to about $1 billion over the entire period we estimated. The largest single component of that is described in the first bullet point in the listing of components that you see in this slide. What we refer to as the woodwork effect, this is people who are eligible for Medicaid or the CHIP program now, but have not enrolled with the insurance coverage through the ACA, with the media attention and other things that will be going on. We anticipate that many people who are eligible now but not enrolled will enroll in the program. This is the woodwork effect, and out of the $1 billion that we estimate as the cost to the state over this time period, about $539 million of that is associated with the woodwork effect. And we didn't want to put too many numbers on the slides. We can certainly provide this detail separately. The other cost